Good afternoon, Manoj sir. Can you hear me?
गुड आफ्टरनून जी, गुड आफ्टरनून पल्लव जी, गुड आफ्टरनून। कैसे हैं आप?
All good, sir. All good. So,
या
जी,
यस
everyone.
प्लीज।
Yes, sir. You saying something?
नो नो, आई डोंट वांट to say anything, just carry
Okay.
on.
Okay. So, everyone, welcome back for this post-lunch session. For this session, we have Manoj Kumar Anand sir with us. Sir is a practicing chartered accountant since July 1998 and registered with IBBI as an insolvency professional in 2017. Till date, he has handled 39 assignments, including 27 in his own name. Thus, he has worked in the capacity of IRP, RP, liquidator, process advisor, mainly in real estate, EPC, retail, textile, food industry sectors. Sir has been a regular visiting faculty. He's been speaking on miscellaneous topics about IBC. On behalf of IPICMA, I would like to welcome you, sir. We are looking forward to your deliberations. Welcome, Manoj, sir.
Thank you very much, thanks a lot, thank you. uh,
Dear participants, you are requested to please turn your videos on.
yeah, that is really nice that when video is on, it looks that we are talking to each other, and we understand each other also very well. I'm seeing a lot of known faces in my regular webinars which I'm holding on. Welcome, sir. Everybody is welcome.
Sir,
Uh,
your good name, sir.
my name is
Because
Manoj Anand.
because some other name is appearing in your place. Manoj
To,
Anand,
to,
sir.
yeah, okay. Okay, let it go it like that. Or give me
Not
five
an
minutes, I
issue.
change it to,
Not an issue.
yeah.
I'll do
Actually,
that for
some other meeting was
you.
going on. It might have been like that. My name
I'll
is
do that,
Manoj
sir.
Anand.
I'll take care of that. You may continue.
Yeah, my name is Manoj Anand. Actually, some of the meeting was going on consortium, and the most probably my office forgot to change that particular name. Okay, Ji, welcome, Mr. Belan Phani, Mr. Sandeep Mahajan, Mr. Vinod Kumar, and to you beautiful the Asha Rathod Ji, Manoj Manjrekar also, and everybody there. So today is a Sunday afternoon. We professionals, despite being hectic till day after tomorrow, being 15th was the last date for filing of the returns, and most of us might have been occupied there also. And earlier filing with IBBI and all this in there. Despite that, we all gathered here with so many numbers. That's a really applauding and good for us. Let me start formally. It is my pleasure to welcome all to this webinar on NRRA as we delve into the critical aspect of the insolvency and bankruptcy for related to NRI. I trust this session will provide valuable insights and address any queries you may have in your mind. NRRA plays a pivotal role in the liquidation process, streamlining asset realization and ensuring timely distribution to stakeholders. However, their implementation has presented certain challenges and complexities. Today's webinar to clarify the NRA, basically we have 10 topics to look into it. And what basics I have in my webinar. If I sum it up in 4 points, it will clarify NRA concept. We will delve into the definition, purpose, and mechanism of NRA. Discuss practical implications. That is more important because when we are holding a webinar with IPs, that is our the first objective. We will explore the practical challenges faced by IPs in managing and utilizing NRRA. Analyze recent case laws and regulatory updates. There is not much recent case laws, but still, whatever little we have, we'll look into it. Uh, Along with that, I shall share my best practices also, practices which I am doing, in my liquidation cases for the purpose of NRA. I will share my knowledge and experience. I encourage you to actively participate in the discussion, ask questions, and share your insights also. Not only ask questions, but also share your experience and answer questions of the others also. I hope this webinar will empower you to navigate the NRI landscape and confidence and contribute to the successful and timely liquidation of cases entrusted to you. Please note that a similar webinar we conducted 3 months ago also, but due to very heavy demand and popular demand, we are repeating it again. If time permitted, I shall also be briefly touching, IBBI issued a discussion paper dated 7th of November 2024 on real estate. That I shall also be touching because that is also, we need to, give our comments as on last date of 27th November 2024. Because that is also very important, especially people who are working in Delhi NCR, Chandigarh NCR, especially in northern part of the country, where more than 25%, around 25% cases are of real estate. तो उसके अंदर हम लोग क्या करेंगे, कैसे करेंगे, तो वो भी मैं थोड़ा सा टच करूंगा. Although we held a webinar on that also. Now let me start my PPT. Allow me to start my PPT, please. This is a very small introduction of mine. I'm president of IPA. We have this Insolvency Professional Association since 2017, and we are running it very successfully for the last 7 years. I'm director in Whitworth Insolvency Professional, so and so. This is all other, I'm participate of a lot of other association of this thing there. Thanks to, oh, sorry, I forgot. I forgot to thanks to Mr. Narasimha, I'm from the heading IPICI. I thank to Mr. Parnov and his whole team also for giving me an opportunity to present myself on this Sunday afternoon in the webinar. I treat it as the not only of sharing of my knowledge, but learning also. Because we all professional colleagues who are sitting across there, we all be having our experience, and IBC is still evolving act and like that there. So thank you very much to the Insolvency Professional Agency of ICI for giving us an opportunity to indulge in this particular webinar on NRRA. Okay, as it has been circulated with all of you, we be delving deep into 10 topics of NRRA. First is topic will be introduction to NRRA. Second will be legal and regulatory framework. Third will be identification and valuation of NRRAs.
Manoj sir, sorry to interfere. The first
Yeah.
5 topics have been covered. The basic introduction part was covered in the first session by Mr. Madhusudan Sharma sir.
Okay, I was not being communicated that way, but I have already prepared for that. But
No worries, you can take your time
I
back.
shall move forward with that. Okay, I shall quickly move forward with that. Whatever I prepared, I should quickly move forward with that. Powers of liquidator, realization strategies of NRIs, challenges faced during liquidation regarding claims and interest, monetization of NRIs, treatment of NRRA during liquidation, international best practices, case laws related to NRA. And if time permitted, we shall discuss or discussion paper on issues related to real estate as issued by the IBBI as on 7th of November 2024. Okay. What happened is that it's my way of motivating participants that let me start with what success stories we have in NRRA, because that will definitely motivate all of us to delve deep into it and will create a lot of interest of knowing कि अगर इन लोगों के पास इतना अच्छा success आया तो we can also get success by implementing NRRA provisions in our assignments. Dehradun Highway, the first success story of NRRA, which is I have noted down for you, is that Dehradun Highway Private Limited, ERA Infra Engineering Limited, Enco Engineering, IBRC, so and so. There was a claim of the few thousand crores of rupees, which was get settled through NRRA. Another was of a very popularly known Moser Bear India Limited, Greater Noida Industrial Development Authority, so and so, so and so, so and so. Where was a plot size of 3.81 lakh square meter was of a few hundred crores of rupees was settled through NRRA. And last time, in fact, we invited the RP of this particular Moser Bear also. And the third story is SR Foils and Tissues Limited. It was a case study. If you want to delve deep into it, तो हमारी जो एक क्वार्टरली मैगजीन आती है रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल अक्टूबर 23 के अंदर इसका डिटेल्ड सक्सेस स्टोरी बताई गई है. And whereas I've written on page number so and so, so and so, recovery amount under NRRA was 21.21 crores plus 2.86 crores under avoidance transaction, meaning thereby that total 24 crore rupees were recovered under NRRA. When I was asked to prepare on this NRRA, so I thought I could reach to some conclusion that this particular NRRA is prone to some industry very much. What are those industries? Many cases, specifically where the corporate debtor is in the infrastructure sector, like construction of roads and highways, EPC, engineering, procurement, and construction, etc., have huge outstanding, unsettled, non-adjudicatory claim against NHAI, steel, cement, and power companies, etc., arising out of time and cost overrun, change of scope of works, and non-fulfillment of covenants of underlying agreements. Therein, NRR is very effective tool other than routine buffet avoidance, debtor loans and advances, statutory refunds, etc. transactions. I mean to say that in the case of infrastructure, the cases, the three cases I have just shared with you. In fact, I'm staying in Delhi, Dwarka, in one of the corporate society there. Although that was not part of the NRA, but that will also be a good example to learn it. That their lease deed was cancelled by the DDA, and each flat cost was a market price of the each flat was 5 crore rupees. And if we multiply it with 350 number of flats, then it was running into around 1600 crore rupees. So that sort of things can happen in the liquidation also. So those things can be settled in NRRA also.
Sir, may I ask,
Yes, sir, please.
what do we understand by settled or recovery of NRRA in these success stories that you have cited?
Basically, what happened? These companies were not in liquidation, and they sold their assets through NRRA and was able to recover such a huge amount from them. They were not able to sell these assets in routine sale of liquidation.
So essentially, these NRRAs were actually assigned or transferred to some other party
Yes,
who will
definitely.
eventually go on to pursue those cases and recover. So it is basically a transfer of those assets, not a actual recovery against the items constituting the NRRA.
No, actually, what happened that when he took those assets, he paid so much sum to the liquidator, and liquidator ultimately paid that particular sum to the SCC financial creditors.
Exactly. So
Manoj sir,
as far as the liquidator is concerned, it's a transfer, assignment, or sale of NRRA.
Yes, yeah,
But the
it was
asset
assignment.
but the asset is actually not monetized eventually. It will be at its own pace. It will be eventually monetized by the buyer.
Actually, monetization took place in two parts. One is that whereby you share the duty as far as you realize it. Another situation is that you pay upfront payment and take over those assets as NRRA. So, this was of the first time whereby I think I don't remember right now, but some money was being shared or something like that. Let me look into it later in my later slides.
Manoj sir, regarding IBRC,
Yes, sir.
regarding IBRCL Limited, are you talking the Indravati investment case or what is this NRRA case?
I just noted down because this was not the case to be dealt in
Because
detail.
to be
So I
frank,
just
sorry,
noted
sir,
down.
sorry, I am involved in IBRCL with the liquidator.
Okay, then you, yeah, that's very good. Then you share it
So I
with
just
us.
want
What
to
happened in that
understand
case?
what you are talking about NRRA, because according to me specifically,
Yeah.
there is only one Indravati investment where the promoter on the CDR, I don't know whether you can name it as NRA or not, where as per the CDR norms, 2% of equity has to be brought by the promoter in the CDR, if you remember in the master document or the circular. So they tied up with one of the related party companies investment called Indravati Investment, and they had assigned, I would say they had given the collateral and they booked in the MCA certain properties which were brought by the liquidator. I think, are you talking this? Because there are no NRA cases in IBSL, what I understand. So I just wanted to understand this thing.
Okay. Okay. Actually, what happened is that I picked up these cases only for the reference sake. In detail, I did not delve into it. But since you have asked me this question, give me some time. I
Because
delve
I also
detail
want
into
to
it, then let you know.
understand being in that, because there is only, because we went to NCLT Hyderabad saying that as per this thing, it's a equity has to be brought by, it is not a debt, and there no interest can be created in that. And as per the CDR master circular, you have to bring a 2% or 2.5, I forgot that percentage, has to be brought by the promoter. And he had tied up with this Indravati for the fund, and this had charge was created for this around 18 flats in Gachibowli area in Hyderabad, and they were removed off. We went to the court. Actually, to be frank, court should have penalized them, but they didn't penalize. They got a little bit favored this thing, saying that the charge can be removed and given back to the company.
Balakishan ji, since you are involved in this particular case, you are aware of the facts of the case. As far
So
as
that's why, yeah, thank you, sir. Thank
yeah, it was basically, I think, was Mr. Anil Kohli involved in Dehradun Highway Private Limited case? Are you aware of this thing? I think
you.
he was one of the person involved in Dehradun Highway Private Limited case, whereby some land of UP or something like that was sold through NRRA. So what I mean to say is that I'm not delving deep into it. I look into it later on, but
Please,
broadly I
please.
told you my objective of telling you broadly was that these has been some of the big NRRA success stories. तो अब इन केस के अंदर मैं इन्वॉल्व था नहीं आई जस्ट पिक्ड अप फ्रॉम द पब्लिकेशन तो दैट माय दैट वाज माय ओनली लिमिटेड ऑब्जेक्टिव टू शेयर इट विद यू
That is what I wanted to ask again. You are saying that these are the success stories. Was money recovered out of these NRRAs, or were they NRRAs only transferred or assigned or sold to some other party who will eventually follow it up? Do we call that as a success story, or we just call it as a transfer or alienation of some assets which may not result in any recovery ultimately?
it resulted in recovery up it resulted in recovery to what extent that I don't remember right now
Manoj ji,
but I have not noted down
Manoj
yes
ji,
Mr. Balakrishnan
I can answer Manoj Manika's answer. Manoj
yeah
ji,
yeah please please sir.
Yes,
Manoj
please.
ji, the answer is basically, see, you can see in terms of monetary term how he sees the money can come back as well, but money can also enhance the valuation of the company. For example, in case of IBRCL, what happened when we removed the charge, the valuation of the company improved because the charge, exclusive security charge, was removed, and you got this back into the liquidation estate. So that's how, for example, 1 rupee was the valuation. Without this, the valuation would become 1.5. So the success story or the enhancement of the valuation can be given by the stakeholders, or improvement for the stakeholders, or the money recovered from. There can be any cases. So it is how you see it.
Right, right. So
Exactly.
in your
That
case,
was our objective only.
yes, sir.
Mr. Manoj, let me briefly explain to you.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
are we are talking only in brief. When we shall talk the cases which we which you need to analyze in deep, then we shall delve into it. It is simply in fact I was not aware of it. I'm really thankful to Mr. Balakrishnan that he has been able to enlighten everybody there. That's a good part. Let's look into broadly at initially that these has been the success stories which resulted because of the NRRA prisons. Okay, should I move forward, Mr. Manoj?
Yes, please.
Okay. What happened is that whenever anything new comes out to be there, or whenever any new assignment come out to be there, we always feel pressure कि इसके formats क्या होंगे. Even initially, when in 2017 we started doing IBC practice, so we were not, we need to delve a lot into what shall the format of the petition, what shall the format of the this progress reports, and slowly and steadily now, everything is being streamlined, and things are given in the books and other documents also. Similarly, for NRRA related, I have prepared those formats, but my disclaimer is very much there. These are the formats only for your reference sake, and you should use it as per your discretion. My legal disclaimer will also come out to be there. This is I shall share these formats on my chat box. From there you can download, and whatever you feel as per your cases, you can look into it and amend into it and use them. But I thought of sharing these formats with you so that it can lighten a little bit what the things do we require for during NRRA process. Assignment deed format. As you are aware of it, debts is being assigned. Whatever deed of assignments we have after, we are using for this purpose, I be sharing it with you in the chat box. The person to whom you assign the deed, he always asks a attorney what format of a power of attorney is there, that we be sharing with you. Process document, those two are used by me. Process document when we invite expression and trust for NRRA for a big case. In fact, I got it for Lille, the Lille listed company case. I was appointed as a auditor of this particular company, and then I came across of this process document. I'll be sharing it in chat box. It's a format in Word format for you. If you like it, you use it, or it's for your reference sake only. Another big problem we find is that locating an NRRA buyer. Our market is not developed. What practically, while you're doing all this thing there, or doing all this work there, we need to have NRRA buyer, especially for small and medium size assignment. So I have got a list of NRRA buyers who are buying NRRA assets on all over India basis. I be sharing my list with you, and I would request that others can also share if they are dealt with people who are successfully buying NRRA asset, so that everybody get benefited because of that thing. It will be a win-win situation for everybody. We be able to get some good NRRA buyer, and NRRA buyer will definitely get some good business from us also. I'll be sharing this very soon in my chat box. And from there, you can download. Okay. Introduction to NRRA. I'll be moving quickly because I've been asked that this has already been covered by Mr. Madhusudan. NRRA refers to an asset with in a company liquidation state that can't be easily sold or converted into cash quickly. So and so, so and so, so and so factors like legal disputes, so and so, so and so. And under the IBC, NRRAs are specifically defined in the liquidation process regulation, where they are considered assets that can't be sold through standard liquidation method like auction or private sales. One of the objectives of IBC is timeline to facilitate the maximization of value of assets. The rationale behind imposition of a timeline is to preserve the value of asset and getting eroded by the effects of time. The process of resolution, so and so, so and so, are sold by a resolution mechanism. But in the case of when resolution mechanism fails, liquidation starts. And in liquidation, assets of the CD are sold in the market. In certain cases, estates could consist of assets that can't be realized within the requisite timeline. These assets, due to lack of not readily be saleable, asset, or called not readily realizable assets as NRA. In nutshell, they can be called rotten apple in the basket, since the value of these assets depend on contingencies. For example, a lease deed of land has been cancelled, but matter is running into court for restoration of lease deed. Then it can be termed as a when lease deed is cancelled, it has a very small value or nil value, and if lease deed is restored, it may have a value of crores of rupees. But we have to complete the liquidation within 365 days. Hence, best option is to sign the land or such sort of asset to a buyer. Share, we have here two types of sale, and that we shall delve in detail later on there. Another benefit by assigning NRR is that we can save on the litigation costs also to fight that particular case, which many a times signees, assignee accepts to bear. Examples of NRRA: disputed receivable or claims against other entities like sundry debtors, which we technically call loans and advances, assets involved in litigation or pending legal proceeding, funds, income tax refund, maybe GST refund. In one of our case, FDS case, where I was handling, what happened? A search was conducted therein, and they took 1 crore rupees as a the deposit from them pending litigation there, and that deposit can also be termed as NRRA. Yeah, quite natural. Perfect transaction is always there. Okay, now let's move now. I moved my first point very quickly. Now let's move to my second point: legal and regulatory framework for NRRA. I've divided this my legal and regulatory framework in two parts. Major legal issues involved in NRRA sale, which are often ignored. These refers to legal issues involved in other laws. As far as IBC is concerned, we shall look into it after this. First issue involved is stamp duty on assignment. What law is? Should assign, whenever we assign a particular NRA to assignee, should stamp duty be paid on it or not? Let my audience ask this question. What is their opinion? Should stamp duty be paid on the assignment deed or not? Let's understand it with an example. हमने किसी को debtors और land and loans and advances sale कर दिए. We assigned them through an assignment deed, and say underlying amount involved as far as book value is concerned, say 50 crores of rupees, and as far as market value is concerned, say 25 lakh rupees only. Should while assigning this deed, should stamp duty be paid or not?
I
What
don't
is
think
the
it is
opinion of my
stamp duty is paid
Siddharth?
that one. I don't think stamp duty is paid based
Okay.
on the NRRA sale deed agreement unless it is registered with SRO.
Okay.
The duty payment start when it is reached SRO.
When it is reached?
SRO, sub-registrar office.
Okay. Do you feel that if you don't get it registered with the sub-registrar office, it will be a legal document binding on assignee and assigner?
The problem, why it is NRRA? Because of the difficulties of getting the title in the name of the CD. So that litigation may be going on at the time of transfer of this NRRA. So when the asset itself is not established, how can we register it into SRO?
I think we are talking about assignment of asset, not of the asset.
Exactly, sir. At the time of assignment, why the NRRA? Because it is not confirmed asset of the CD. There are disputes which may be pending in the court. There may be FUBE which is pending in the court. There may be undervalued transaction which may be pending in the court. But at the time of assigning this type of NRRA, the physical possession is not transferred. Unless physical possession is not transferred, how registration can take place with SRO?
Okay. Vinodji, I just give you an example by extending our talk there, and then I move to what in my wisdom, the answer to this question is that as I talked, कि 50 crore रुपए का debtors थे, 25 lakh rupees उसकी market price लगाया गया, and in the interest, in totality of interest, I sold them at a price of 10 lakh rupees. In NRA, many a times it's are being transferred on symbolic basis. Had there not been any litigation, then there should not have been an NRRA. In fact, also they have become NRRA only because of the reason that recoverability against them is uncertain, mainly because of the litigation and other reasons. In any case,
Sir,
thank
you
you,
mean
Vinodji. That's
stamp
very good.
duty? You mean stamp duty for the agreement?
On assignment date. Yes.
Yeah. The
I will
value.
now
What is
you
the
write it
value
down.
based on that? Of course. What is the value based on that? We have to use the stamp.
Okay. Based on that. Okay. I mean to say of that only. Okay. Let me enlighten everybody there that let me revert back to my sharing of screen with you, please. As we all are aware, stamp duty is a state subject. As far as I stay in Delhi, I know about Delhi only. Here, the Stamp Act, Delhi Stamp Act clearly says under Section 37 that stamp duty is payable on book value. You can go through for under Section 37. And as far as other states are concerned, you can have a look on your state Stamp Duty Act, and it says stamp duty is payable on sale of immovable assets also and movable assets also. However, there is one contradiction which I would like our regulator or maybe the government should look into it. Under SARFAESI, it is not payable because the certificate of sale is issued. But no such exemption is under NRRA sale as far as my understanding of the Stamp Act of Delhi is concerned. And another thing is that I intentionally started my this deliberation with the example of book value and this thing there market value is concerned. Delhi Stamp Act says that whatever is the book value of underlying asset in the case of landed building book value the depreciated value for building, and in the case of immovable asset the value which is reflected in the balance sheet, stamp duty has to be paid on assignment. Now we have been demanding since we are running IPA also, and through which we ask government to provide us some concessions also, and we have been demanding that some circular should be issued whereby for all NRRA sales there have to be exemption granted to there the way it has been planned for SARFAESI sales. Okay. Now next my question come out to be there. That is the stamp duty when we registered it. What about the GST? A lot of people, although I'm not doing much GST, what is the expert knowledge of GST when we sell assets through NRRA? Well, many people, many expert GST people should be there. I'm not doing much GST, but if anybody has any opinion, please share it with me. Otherwise, whatever I am aware of it, I'll be sharing it with you.
So, in my opinion, by way of doing this assignment, we are supplying the service. So, GST at the rate of 18% should be charged.
Your good name, please.
My name is
On your
Mohit. My name is
Mohit
Mohit
ji, you are
Adakia.
absolutely okay. Absolutely, you're the correct. In fact, what happened was that earlier tangible assets, sale of tangible assets even were not brought under GST, but later on amendment was came and tangible assets and all this in there has been brought under GST. He is absolutely right. Only addition I have to make is this is an auctionable claim. Section 3 of the Transfer of Property Act defines auctionable claims. GST has to be charged at the rate of the respective type of the asset. That can be 18%. That can be, varying from the underlying asset there. But actionable claim, this is the NRIs and asset or auctionable claim. GST has to be paid against that. But we request our government that they should provide exemption to us. The way, in the case of, if you remember, in Income Tax Act, earlier, after 2023, this exemption is presumed to be withdrawn. But earlier, whenever we write off the loans in our books of account, those were not being taxed under Section 28, subsection 4, presumed to the Section 28, subsection 4 of the Income Tax Act, because in the case, Honorable Supreme Court held in the case of Mindra and Mindra that only non-cash transactions are taxable as perquisite. Similarly, we let's have a clarification. Till date, no litigation has happened. Everybody is ignoring it. Practically, what in fact, me also has done, which is bad in law, that we sign, we write assignment deed on a stamp paper of 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees, something like that, and transfer those assets to the assignee. But if any litigation or if amount involved becomes very huge, may some litigation came into me there later on. My objective of breasting to all of you is what the law is there.
But sir, I have a counter opinion on that.
Yeah,
I have two counter opinion on that.
Yes,
If
please.
if the NRRA is land, then what is the GST element? It cannot be, no?
Ajay? Why it
If
can't
the
be?
NRRA
Because
is consist of
GST
land,
No, actually,
then
I
it
said
cannot be, no?
auctionable claim. In the case of land,
Auctionable claim?
yeah, it can't be. It should not be.
It shouldn't be.
What
Another
auctionable
case,
claim is?
another case,
Yeah.
as you
No,
stated,
let's see what auctionable claim is. Yes, Vinodji, carry on. Please carry on. What
In
auctionable claim
another
is?
case, as you indicated, there are receivables which I sold to somebody as an NRRA, right, sir? So he may get materialize the actual receivable in the future, maybe for a value, correct? Which may be at par, or maybe more than, or maybe less than. So in that scenario, if we are charging GST on the amount of value at which we are agreed, and realization, etc., is happening later period, then the application of GST is a question. Second, if the consideration is payable in a future period, I am assigning the asset. Okay, you may pay the consideration based on happening of recoveries, and on that recovery, you share to the creditors, I mean SEC, a percentage. If that's the case, consideration itself is not confirmed, then what the GST will apply when the consideration itself is not confirmed?
Vinodji, it is a question of related to the GST, not related to the IBC, but let's understand it with an example. I go back with my past example. 5 crore रुपीस की बुक वैल्यू थी, 50 लाख रुपीस का हमने उसकी मार्केट वैल्यू थी, हमने उसको 25 लाख रुपीस का बेच दिया. अब 25 लाख रुपीस का जब हमने बेच दिया, उसके अगेंस्ट जनरली व्हाट हैपन प्रैक्टिकली द मार्केट, he gave us an advance of 5 lakh rupees, and rest he said that he will share with us say 60% of the amount recovered by him, for which liquidator is also paid some fees, and that is there. Now
Yes.
your question is when this GST will be applicable. This
Yeah,
GST will be
in this given scenario, the scenario what you are given, okay, in that how the GST will be on what value when it is applicable.
This is what I'm telling you. Na? Listen to me. When we exceed 5 lakh rupees, at that time 18% GST will be applicable. Whenever we in future we be receiving the amount, at that time this GST will be applicable. This is the way, GST is calculated. GST expert can enlighten you for that, but it will be payable when on the basis of recompose
perfectly
payment or something
explained.
like that.
Perfectly explained. But the problem is that after I assign this asset, I will dissolve the company. Company will not be there. I am not there. As a liquidator will not be there. Now the players will be the stakeholder and the assignee. I mean assigner and the assignee. Correct. Now in situation whether the stakeholder required to pay GST on what they are receiving.
Viroji, I think we are delving too much into GST, but I explained you this thing there,
Since the
which
question come of GST,
no, no,
GST, and I am right now I am in execution of an agreement. Since the question come, I think my doubts are to be get cleared because
Mr.
big forum is
Vinod,
there in front of
yeah,
me.
yeah, Mr. Vinod,
The problem with me, I am going to assign a 66 application. Now this application is pending. Okay, the value it's there in the application. So we don't know what is the decision going to take by NCLT, accept or reject. In the prayer, we prayed that, my lord, this much of crores is to be bought back by the promoters, right? Now there is a buyer for me to sell this asset as an NRRA. For a future consideration, I am selling this NRRA to him. All amount is going to receive on the future events. In such cases, I will be dissolving the company after this assignment. Then the recovery is happening between the stakeholder and the assignee. In such situation, what is the taxation right now I have to face?
yeah, Mr. Vinod, now you listen to me patiently. Your all the questions will be answered in my this reply. Whenever assignment deed is being entered, it is not between the stakeholder and the assignee. Stakeholders are called assigner, and the person who is selling these assets is called assignee. In that particular assignment deed, liquidator generally, but you can appoint third person also, is being appointed to take care of all these transactions. The assignment deed which I have shared with you, if you go, which I shall share with you, if you go through with it, it has nothing to do with the dissolution. The dissolution of the company shall go parallel and it can be dissolved also. Assignment deed will clearly define practically, what happened is that 50%, let's say 60% of the amount shall be given to the stakeholder as per waterfall mechanism of 53. 45% will be given to the assignee, and balance 5% shall be retained by the liquidator as his fees. Meaning thereby, the way we realize this thing payment in the future, that money doesn't come in the account of the in the account of the CD, because CD has already been dissolved. That money comes in the account of the liquidator. From liquidator account, this money is being distributed to the stakeholders. Let's not confuse it with normal sale, with NRRA sale. NRRA sale is a unique concept, whereas the court allows you to sell the asset which you're not otherwise able to sell in your routine sale. Had you been able to sell it in the routine sale, then you should have sold it within the 365 days of your liquidation or otherwise there. NRRA means you can, the assets in the balance sheet which you could not sell in routine, you have sold them as an NRRA. And now let's go to the second part, recovery against that. You're mixing up both the things, sale of NRRA and recovery against that. From GST perspective, the moment you sell the NRRA, the asset becomes zero and you are liable to close, because as far as the dissolution liquidation is concerned, it has a prerequisite, whereas you need to to sell all the assets. NRRA was born only because of the reason that liquidation proceedings go on for years. It goes on for months and years, because certain underlying assets could not be sold as it is. But when this NRRA concept came out to be there, these assets are sold as an NRRA. When the recoveries are coming from them, then it will be shared with them. And when recoveries come out to be there, whenever recovery comes out to be there, GST will be imposed, calculated and paid there. I hope Vinodji is able to understand what I mean to say. Now, that has, what I have just talked with you is with reference to other regulatory, the other regulatory like GST and IBC, sorry, like GST and stamp duty. Now, let's see what NRA position has under IBC 2016. How this this particular thing came out to be there. It Let's understand the preamble of NRRA when discussion paper on it was issued. What happened that as I explained before that, that sub assets which could not be sold by the liquidator remain in the balance sheet. Because of that, liquidator become handicapped not to file the dissolution application, because filing of dissolution application has the prerequisite that all the assets of the company have been sold. And when it could not be sold, then IBBI came out with a proposal way back in 2020 that let those assets be sold by assigning as NRRA. So this, if you look into the background, because looking into the background is really required to understand the basic concept of the NRRA. This was being issued by the NRRA on 26th of August 2020 discussion paper. The discussion paper envisages two ways in which assignment can be done. One is absolute assignment and assignment with recomposed facility. The former provides for an absolute transfer of all legal rights, remedies, and power to bring an action without any interference from the liquidator. The latter provides for the assignment of the right of action or condition for the share in the amount of successful recovery by the assignee. The amount received from the assignment can be distributed among the creditors. Yeah, if you ask me personally, which mode is more popular as far as our practice is concerned, then my reply is later mode of being assignment with recomposed facility is used in almost all cases, depending upon the strength or of underlying asset. Let's understand it with extended example of sale of cancelled lease deed. Yeah, by chance, I have already spoken to you that if in case of a, a company, a lease deed has been cancelled, it has nil value or maybe very notch value. But if court restores back this particular lease deed, then it may have a very high value. The court may take its own time, may take 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and if the course, this case went up to Supreme Court, it may take a lot many years. I just give you a practical example in my case. I've been a liquidator in case of Avinash EM. Presently, I'm doing the liquidation. What happened that one land and building in this particular case is already there. And this particular land and building was earlier sold by the financial creditors under SAFASI. When they sold this particular landed building under SAFASI, the buyer, the directors at that particular time went against that particular sale, and they were able to obtain stay against that particular sale. Against that particular stay, bankers, filed application with the DRAT Delhi, which is pending for the last 3, 4 years, and maybe pending for another years. What happened, or what in nutshell is there, that in this particular case, land and building is under dispute. Buyer was very smart. What he did, instead of paying to the CD, he deposited the amount with the court. whatever consideration was there, running into few crores of rupees. He deposited that amount in the court. And now, when I was appointed as a liquidator in that particular company, he filed an application against me also to not include that particular landed building in my liquidation state. Objective is so that I should not sell it there. But my contention is that since this particular no sales certificate against this landed building has been issued, why should not make it as a part of the as part of my liquidation state. No dispute has arisen until unless NCLT decides on it or DRAT decides on it that whether this particular landed building belongs to the CD or to the to their what you call it, or to the earlier buyer who purchased it in the surface. Luckily or unluckily, what happened is that because of efflux of time of 4 or 5 years, that particular landed building, some highway came out to be nearby that, some peripheral. It's basically lying in Sonipat. Some, I don't remember exactly, but some main road was coming to be there. The value of that particular landed building has grown double or triple. Buyer is very much keen to, take it back at that price. Myself as a liquidator, under the concept of value maximization, is very much keen that I should not sell it to there. I should auction it there and give my creditors maximum value. This has become typically an NRRA assets. But at the same time, you understand my limitation. I have to complete my liquidation within 365 days. Courts, NCLT is very reluctant to give extension. They will give, but DRT proceedings may run for another 5 years, 6 years, something like that. So this has become NRRA. Only option available with me is that under these circumstances, disclosing all these factors, to the prospective buyer, I sell it this particular landed building to him and go for it. This is, example I have given to you, NRRA. It will help me in two ways. No doubt, I shall not get, very good price for that. It will be at a discounted price, but I be able to close my liquidation process because of this thing. This paper laid down. Now some checks and balances was also provided. कि आप NRRA की sale कैसे करोगे? What were the checks and balances? The paper laid down principles to be followed by the liquidator before assigning these assets. What was that? Acting in the best interest of the liquidation state, seeking maximum consideration for the assignment, consulting the stakeholders consultative committee (SCC), assignment through an auction, or if an auction is not possible on an arm's length basis, assignment shall be subject to section 29A of the code, liquidated to be reasonable, fair, and should act in good faith. Although all these things were principles laid down in that particular discussion paper, but now it has been made part of the law. And whenever our closer application goes to the NCLT, they look deep into these NRRA sales. I give you another example for that. Why they look deep into this thing there. I was a liquidator in the case of Best Excel Limited. What happened in that case? Debtors of I think book value of 5 crore was there. But their market value, the value determined their market value under the 35 was approximately 10 or 15 lakh rupees. And when my closer application was being discussed there, I sold that particular assets. I remember, I think I got 2 lakh rupees in advance, plus I think 50% to the SEC, 45% to the assignee, and 5% me as a liquidator fees. Courts are very skeptical. They said that how you can say that a 5 crore asset is being assigned at such a 2 lakh rupees advance at, or uske baad इस तरह के price cover, and why the valuer did so much valuation at such a low price of a 5 crore asset to something like only 5 lakh rupees or 6 lakh rupees, 7 lakh rupees. But I was lucky enough that in fact I planned in that way. I tried to sell those assets at that particular market price of 5 lakh rupees. It was including of other assets also. I'll just give you one example by normal auctions. But I could not sell those assets in my normal auction 3 or 4 times When I could not sell those the assets in my normal action 3 over time, I told to the Honorable NCLT, the Honorable NCLT daily bench, that sir, I tried to sell this asset, made all the efforts to sell all these assets in normal action, but when I could not sell it out, what option I was having? On the one hand, you are exerting pressure on me to file the closure report, because this particular case because of this thing and some other reasons also, case get extended from 1 year to I think 2.5 years. All the time, if I ask for the extension of 1 year, they gave me 6 months. If I ask for the extension of 6 months, they gave me 3 months. I said that you are quite conservative in giving me the extension. Then what option I have to to sell these assets? Ultimately, court agreed, and my skin was saved. That when they realized that in out of 4 or 5 public auctions, when I could not sell those assets, then only option with me is sell it as an NRRA. This is point G. I explained in detail. NCLT looked deep into it while granting approval under section 38, 38, under regulation 38 regulation. When you distribute all these assets in kind to stakeholders, no approval is required to the section 30, under regulation 37A, for which only SSC can give you the approval. Another aspect is quite normal, nothing more to say in this is there. Recommended so and so. Prior to amendment, regulation 38, before this amendment, it was already there in liquidation process regulation. Regulation 38(1) provided that the liquidator, with the approval of a judicial authority, can distribute NRRAs among the stakeholders, but it has its own limitation as follows. No creditor is willing to take such asset, especially if your creditors are if your creditors are public sector bank, which mainly is the case, valuation being highly uncertain, was Hurricane's task to determine. I've already given you the example for release date, no need to repeat it again. Distribution many a times not practically possible. For example, let's presume a situation where I have some debtors. How I can distribute those debtors if there are 3 or 4 members in a stakeholders consultative committee having different shares? How I can distribute them to the SCC people? In developed countries, the market is so developed that for each case, pool of investors come together and list their holding in share market and trade. Naturally, price of underlying securities fluctuate as per conditions. So, okay, I just try to make you to understand what is happening in international scene as far as NRRA is concerned. I give you an example. You will be able to understand it with an example there. My purpose of giving you this example is that we, in the days to come, definitely this practice will be adopted, in our country also. And IBBI regulator is proactive on all this thing there. They may also provide such the facility in the days to come. In what happened in the case of in one of the jurisdiction abroad, what happened? Lot of loan they have given to on credit to against mortgage of some asset and something like that to many buyers. A retail loan they have given it to a lot of people, for which either become bad or they were finding it very difficult to recover. The company, because of this reason, company went into liquidation. When the company went into liquidation, they they sold that particular asset to a trust or entity which is listed. What situation in foreign countries so developed that what some trust they do, they pull up money from the investors, buy those assets from the CD. से अगर किसी का रिटेल लोन 100 करोड़ रुपीस का था, उन्होंने 1 या 2 करोड़ रुपया देके उस रिटेल लोन को परचेज कर दिया और ये कहा जी हम इसकी रिकवरी खुद करेंगे, योर लीगल मैकेनिज्म इज नॉट वेरी गुड, हम इसकी करेंगे और उसके बाद हम इन शेयर्स को यानी कि रिकवरी की जो भी बूटी होगी हम आपके साथ रिकम्पोज फैसिलिटी के अंदर हम साथ शेयर कर लेंगे. एंड दोज द बेस्ट पार्ट is कि those shares are listed in the company. जो भी उनका अंडरलाइंग सिक्योरिटी होगा, मे बी शेयर्स और इन अदर फॉर्म, इज लिस्टेड इन द कंपनी. द वे कंपनी वेंट इनटू लिक्विडेशन, उनका लिक्विडेशन ऑर्डर पास हो गया. एज फार एज दिस पर्टिकुलर एसेट इज कंसर्न्ड, दिस पर्टिकुलर एसेट जो था, जैसे जैसे कोर्ट्स के ऑर्डर आते थे, रिकवरेबिलिटी के चांसेस बढ़ते थे, कम होते थे, उसके हिसाब से ये जो शेयर प्राइस था, जो इन्वेस्टर्स का था, जिन्होंने 2 करोड़ रुपए इन्वेस्ट करके 100 करोड़ रुपए के एसेट लिए थे, उनके शेयर प्राइस फ्लक्चुएट होता रहता था. एंड इंस्टेड ऑफ द इन्वेस्टर्स, अब इन दिस सिचुएशन, investor was happy because by investing 2 crore rupees, he may be able to recover, say, 10 crore rupees, 20 crore rupees, depending on the underlying asset. And yeah, liquidator is also happy because he has been able to close the company. Otherwise, running a company has its own cost. And creditor was also happy because he got some money initially, and after that no cost is to be incurred by him, and he will share booty with the other person. So this sort of market is quite developed in Singapore, Australia, even USA also. But this, if that sort of markets do develop in our country also, as far as NRA sale is a very very big headache, especially for a small and medium sized companies. तो शायद हमारा जो एनआरआर सेल है ये भी एक बहुत ज्यादा फॉर्मलाइज हो जाएगा आने वाले टाइम के अंदर. आई इन डिटेल आई शेयर्ड यू दिस थिंग विद एन एग्जांपल. नाउ लेट मी मूव फर्दर. If anybody has any question on it, he can ask me. Otherwise, I'm moving further. Okay. Another feature of this thing is there. Sorry, the limitation of the sale is that SEC want cash. Yeah, another thing is that why the regulation 38(1), whereby assets are sold in such a way, is not applicable, because SEC always want cash, and they say we don't have any infrastructure to maintain any of these assets. In my case, also happened. PNB was my major stakeholder. I asked them कि भैया ये जो भी अंडरलाइंग एसेट जो मैं किसी भी लीगल कारण से नहीं बेच पा रहा, आप इसको ले लो ना, आप इसको बेच के जितने पैसे मिलेंगे कमा लेना, जो मेरी लिक्विडेशन फीस होगी मेरे को दे देना उसमें से, मे बी वी कैन डिवाइड दैट सेटअप. दे सेड वी डोंट हैव एनी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर टू डू दिस देयर. तो इन दैट केस आल्सो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन failed. EO may take time in granting approval, quite normal. Exerts extension of liquidation period reduction in so and so, that is I've already spoken. Since it was having its own drawback, IBBI thought of going for alternatives, which resulted in giving birth to regulation 37A as on 30th of 11, 2020. I hope the purpose of sharing with you this legal framework was that, so that you can understand what is the logic of NRRA coming out to be there. The regulation 37A defines NRA as an asset including in the liquidation state which could not be sold through available options, and includes contingent or disputed asset and asset underlying proceedings for preferential, undervalued, extortionate, credit and fraudulent transactions. नो सॉरी, ये 37E के जो है वो एक जो 37E के क्या बेसिक पॉइंट्स है दैट आई एम शेयरिंग विद यू. द लिक्विडेटर कैन असाइन और ट्रांसफर एन NRRA फॉर ए कंसिडरेशन टू एनी पर्सन through a transfer process in consultation with the SEC. The transfer process is not elaborated in the regulation. It can be presumed that the same modes of sale, that is auction and private sale, which is for other effects, will be applicable for NRRAs. NRIs can't be assigned to any person ineligible under Section 29A. Though presence of for terms of assignments, absolute or repose is not discernible in regulation 37A. It can be concluded that independence is given to the liquidator in deciding the terms of the assignment. This also shows how much trust regulator or government places on the liquidator, that they allow him to have the terms whatever they want in the best interest of the creditors for value maximization. But I tell you one thing, courts have come very heavily because a lot of liquidator, because of convoying with other some bar or something like that, they have abused this beautiful provision, and as a result of which, Honorable NCLT, in case of NRRA assignments or a sale under basically NRRA assignment, they become very skeptical, and you as a liquidator, we need to impress them that we made all the effort to sell all these assets. In normal action, but when we could not sell it and we sold them on the basis of assignment at the best possible price, as per the objective of the IBC, value maximization. Okay, now how you will identify and value these NRRA assets? Very simple. Look at your latest balance sheets. Look at notes to accounts. Look at such orders, if any, for out of books assets. Talk to past employees, close assets to know for hidden assets, which SPD may not provide many a time. SPD means suspended board of directors. I just give you an example, how in one of our case, I was able to look into it. I'm giving you the practical example so that can motivate you to look for your, the investigation skill in that way also. In one of the Avinash EM was the name of the case where I was appointed. What happened? Lot of such NRA, later on they become NRS. A lot of assets are there which were not traceable. As usual, I filed 92 application against the promoter. वो चलेगी साल 2 साल 3 साल कुछ नहीं होगा उसका, या होगा भी कुछ तो टाइम विल टेल. मैंने प्रोसिक्यूशन एप्लीकेशन भी फॉर नॉट हैंडलिंग ओवर द एसेट फाइल कर दी. somehow what happened, एक कोई थर्ड पार्टी का कोई एसेट था, कोई ये व्हाट वी कॉल इट बुलडोजर टाइप कुछ एसेट था, वो बाई चांस मेरे पास मेरे प्रोमाइसेस में पड़ा हुआ था. व्हेन दैट वाज लाइंग इन माय प्रोमाइसेस एंड लिक्विडेशन प्रोसेस स्टार्टेड अर्लियर, डेफिनेटली सीआरपी प्रोसेस स्टार्टेड. तो जो पहले वाला जो आरपी था, ही डिड नॉट अलाउ हिम टू टेक आउट दैट एसेट only for the reason कि he was not able to prove his title of that particular asset. Number one. Number two, that this assets, second aspect was that this asset, how it came to the CD's premises, he was not able to prove this thing, and he said कि जब तक ये दो चीजें prove नहीं करोगे, मैं आपको आपका asset वापस नहीं करूंगा. He says, no doubt, I'm not the owner of the asset, but you need to prove before taking this bulldozer out of my the premises therein. When I got, that nowadays NCLT appoints always changes RP to new liquidator. They wanted me as a liquidator. When they appointed me the liquidator, that particular third party, came to me and said to me कि ये भैया हमारा asset है, वापस कर दो, ये कर दो, वो कर दो. Somehow, it's part of my style. I never act in conflict with even with my enemies. I always talk to them in a pacified manner. When he came to my office, we just sit together, have a cup of tea and this thing there. Then he told me this thing कि जो आपके CD जो आपको एसेट नहीं दे रहा, उसके जो एसेट्स हैं substantially यहाँ पड़े हुए हैं. Because since he was a supplier and he was doing work for the CD and this thing there. Ultimately, I was able to locate some assets lying at Vijaypur. It's in near MP. Today, my staff has gone there to inspect it there. A few, lakhs or maybe running into crores of rupees asset there. Number one. Number two, that I was also, what happened, that my CD entered into joint venture with some other person, and they put money, they put money in one of the company for allocation of gas field or something like that. What happened? This transaction in my books was shown as investment in that particular joint venture, hardly 5-10 lakh rupees. But that 5-10 lakh rupees clubbed with other amount was paid there. A debtor of that particular, I give you the name of the company also, GAIL, Gas Authority of India Limited. A debtor of that particular company sent a confirmation letter to us that whereby said that this much amount is, the GAIL might have shown that particular amount of 50-60 lakh rupees in their books of account as payable. Please confirm this outstanding in our books of account. from that particular amount, I came across that this particular amount is receivable, and it has become RS. I'm aware of it that gate will never pay me that particular amount, but now I've been able to strengthen my asset, and when I shall sell it as an NRRA, I'll be able to command good value also. I shall simply say that although it will take some time for recovery from the Gale and the public sector, but this is how we can make the valuation. And this information I came to know, the starting point, a triggering point of that particular information was an outsider who gave me this information. And when we delved deep into the emails and the emails of the CD and plus other accounting records and this thing there, which is like with everybody, very, 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 very difficult to get. Okay, another thing, I give you another example also. I was appointed in one of the Unsolved case. What happened in that particular case? This I example give you which what I have practically done. What happened is that चौकीदार therein told me कि भैया वो कुछ suppliers ने माल सप्लाई करा था वो इस गोडाउन के अंदर पड़ा हुआ है. So, what happened ki suppliers supplied the mite. That was in the custody of the CD. CD went into CRP. It was not known ki kahan pada hua hai because it was not shown as a stock in the books of the CD. But when Chogidar told, he was not aware that whether it is shown in the books or not. But when he told this thing that this particular stock is lying there, we went there and we were able to locate that. I think ultimately we valued that particular inventory. It was running to be 2-3 crore rupees. What I mean to say is that I'm giving you example of this thing there. Usko bhi hum NRA करके बेच ही देंगे because title of that particular stock is under dispute. Creditors can say that we have when we are unpaid, we should take it back there and something like that. I've already given you example of Avinash in detail. That was the all what I told you. Another way of locating is there. You can always have an expert's opinion. Sometimes you find in books of accounts, or maybe if not in books of accounts, through income tax site also, that some refunds are there, like income tax refund. When I was running a CRP show of FDS, they were having no money to run the CRP process because of a reason there. But I found that a lot of income tax refund is stuck up there of the last 8-10 years. I pursued the matter with the concerned ITO and was able to get a lot of good money from them along with interest and able to run my CRP show with that money only. Similarly, GST example I've already given. I won't repeat it there. PMLA also is, we have seen it coming out to be a hidden treasure because under PMLA, a lot of properties are being nowadays confiscated. Courts have decided broadly that in the case of PMLA, if property has been created out of the PLA money, then it will belong to the PMLA. And if it is mixed money or it is not known from how it has been created, then this property will belong to the IBC. And through some PMLA confiscated properties, you can always look into it and identify NRAs in your liquidation process. Lease deed cancellation, already spoken. Okay, another thing which you can do is the recovery agent. Share details and take their opinion of chances of recoverability in the case of debtors, loans, and advances. Why we do this thing? Because we do this thing so that we can get the maximum value. What happened if I have to take money from a person who is a rich man? Then if any recovery agent can recover the money from him and give me a good price for that. So, as a liquidator, I may not have the strength or energy to go deep into it, but definitely, if I hire some recovery agent and he can tell me that whether it is recoverable or not, quality of assets can be improved. Many people have a windfall profit against it. That you can very well understand. It is on the record of many cases also, whereby liquidator maybe or the buyer has been able to earn good money. Another way is of valuation report. This is quite normal. Oh, no, sorry. How we valuate it? sorry, it's not valuation. You can valuation, but तो normal सा है. How you can maximize the value. Value maximization objective of the code. We must evaluate for it sources of valuation, generally book value for comparative figure, valuation report. So, these are the only ways whereby you can value. If, as far as valuation of NRRA with the objective of having a maximum value is concerned, if any of my colleague has his experience, he can also share with me so that we can get enlighten everybody there also, because it's quite a subjective matter and not written in the law books. Do anybody have experience like me, situation which I have shared with everybody? If you have come across and have any while doing your liquidation assignment, please come forward. I move forward. I have covered my 3 aspects. We move to my powers of liquidator. Powers of liquidator in the case of NRRA. What I'll be talking about all this thing in NRRA concept. I'm not talking in general what are the powers of the liquidator, although I have written it there, but that I be, moving through quickly. Our objective is to enlighten each other, how we can, enlighten each other with related to NRRs mainly. What are the power of the liquidator? Power of the liquidator is defined. The liquidator is an insolvency professional on whom all the powers of the board of directors, key managerial persons who are partner as applicable of the corporate director, so and so vested with the adjudicating authority upon liquidation order being passed under Section 33 of the IBC. Section 35 in detail enumerates the powers and duties of the liquidator, and chapter 3 of the LP regulation states powers and function of the liquidator. Detail and depth that we shall look into it. But since I've been asked to the liquidator, I've been able to custody of all assets, evaluate the assets, property, protect, preserve, run the business of the company. This is basically replica of the relevant section. Sell the immovable property and auctionable claims of the corporate debtor in liquidation by public auction or private contract with power to transfer such property to any person or so and so, to draw, accept, and endorse negotiable instruments, to take out in his official name letter of administration so and so, to obtain any professional assistance in the discharge of his duties. As far as professional assistance is concerned, NCLT has many a times taken, but is the best is concerned later on. After this reading of Section 35. It is duly given in the defend any suit, investigate so and so, verify paper deed so and so, so and so. This 15 number is very important. इसके लिए अलग से एक chapter है which I be sharing with you relevant portions only. Information says transaction, undervalue transaction, distribute liquidations proceeds as per section. All its assets are duly liquidated. we can file a dissolution application only when it's liquidated. Number one, for liquidation is 365 days. For every extension, you need the prior consent and prior permission of the NCLT. And when NCLT give you the consent and prior when NCLT give you permission for extension of this thing there, they scrutinize what work you have done and how much effort you have made in proceedings. In liquidation. Need to take care. Sub regulation 2 does not allow appointment of his relative editor. His मैं अपने भाई को लिक्विडेशन असाइनमेंट के अंदर इस तरह का काम नहीं दे सकता एंड relative very wide. Any member of the SEC or any prospective buyer or CD. Okay, now let's talk about the power of the liquidator. As liquidator has unlimited power, subject to supervision control in case of assignment of NRRA with the consultation of SEC under Regulation 37A. It is reminded if you can go against the decision of SEC, then you must inform to IBBI within 15 days and adjudicating authority also in this subsequent quarterly progress report as per proviso to LP regulation so and so 10 read with regulation 15 sub regulation 1 in nutshell कि आपको NRRA की सेल जो है you have to do it with the consent of SEC only. But SEC role is advisory only. It is not CRP, whereby you are bound by the decision of COC. SEC has the only advisory role. And when you when they have an advisory role and say on a one particular time you want to have a decision whether you can take it or not, you can definitely you have to satisfy the code. And if IBBI asks you that what prompted you to go against the SEC decision, some procedural formalities are also there as in regulation 10 regulation progress report stating clearly reasons therein that why you have gone against the decision of the SEC. And in fact, although my office files, but some online filing is also there within a stipulated time with the IBBI for any of such call taken by you. Okay, as my friends might have acted as a liquidator. Many of the experiences that I would love to listen from them. At least myself is such experience. Do anybody have? Please, I request him to come forward in the meaning all the
So the voice is breaking. Is it for me alone or it's for
they
everybody?
have not gone.
No, it's for all. Even I am unable to hear. Voice is cracking.
If my voice is breaking, it is for
Sir, your voice is breaking, so we are not able to connect the sentences.
Because internet connection. Okay, my internet connection. I'm changing my internet connection. Let me see if I can improve my voice. The indicator is showing
Sir,
that
you
my
can switch
internet
off your
connection
video,
improved.
sir. Sir, you can switch off
Haji?
your video. You can switch off your video if it doesn't
Yeah,
improve.
that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Bilkul ji. Is that okay? Is my
Yeah, go
voice
ahead.
now
Yeah,
a
go
little
ahead.
bit clear? Yeah, because that is there. Okay, let me share my PPT. Okay, we are talking about the powers of the liquidator, and I said that if any of us has gone against the decision of the SEC, he can share it with me. But everybody is like me; nobody has gone against the decision of SEC. Okay, let's move forward. Distribution to SEC with the permission of a adjudicating authority under Regulation 38A. As far as this distribution clause is concerned, under Regulation 38, I have been able to, I'm not being successful even in any of my case because SEC is very reluctant to take in-kind assets. Do anybody among audience have been able to distribute it, their assets under Regulation 38A? If anybody has done, he can come forward and share his experience with all of us. Okay, now let me come to my fifth part of the presentation, that realization strategies of two NRRAs. As I've already spoken in between. Before going for NRRA, we try to sell by normal auction as per Schedule 1 at least 2-3 times, and if not successful, then go for NRRA sale. This shall satisfy adjudicating authority. Strictly adhere to Schedule 1 for mode of sale under Regulation 33. I repeat again, strictly adhere to Schedule 1 for mode of sale under Regulation 33. What it says, we shall look into it deep also. What Schedule 1 mode of sale is. We prepare the marketing strategy with the help of marketing professional if asset size is big. It includes releasing advertisements, preparing information sheets for the asset, preparing a notice of sale, and liaising with agents. Terms and conditions of sale, including reserve price, EMD, as well as pre-bid qualification amount. The reserve price shall be the value of the assets arrived at in accordance with Regulation 34. Regulation 34, says the value at which we is given the valuation report. Such valuation shall not be more than 6 months old. However, in the event that action fails to such price, the liquidator may reduce the reserve price up to 75% of such value to conduct subsequent auctions. It's very simple. अगर हमने किसी 1 लाख रुपए की चीज में पहला ऑक्शन लगाया, वो नहीं बिका, तो 75,000 पे नेक्स्ट ऑक्शन हम लगा देंगे. इन सिंपल टर्म्स इट मींस लाइक दैट ओनली. बट हमारे को प्राइस वो लेना पड़ेगा जो वैल्यूएशन रिपोर्ट के अंदर है. The regulator shall make public announcement of an auction in the manner specified under Regulation 12.3. Regulation 12.3 basically says that so much time should be given during the liquidation process. I think it's a 15 days or 21 days, something like that. You can, it's a normal auction process. But in each auction, it consumes approximately 1 month of our office for going for it. Provided that liquidator may apply to adjudicating authority to dispense with the requirements of regulation, so and so, keeping in view the value of the asset intended to be sold. It happens when the asset is perishable. The liquidator shall provide all necessary assistance to the conduct of due diligence by the interested buyers, normal. The executor shall sell the asset through an electronic auction on an online portal, if any designated by the board, where the interested buyers are registered, bid, and receive confirmation of the acceptance of the bid online. There is a new dimension added to it. I'll let you know. If the liquidator is of the opinion that physical auction is likely to maximize the realization from the sale of assets and is in the best interest of the creditors, he may sell assets through a physical auction after obtaining the permission from a adjudicating authority. The liquidator may engage the services of qualified professional auctioneers specializing in auctioning such assets for this purpose. An auction shall be transparent and must be of highest bid at any given point of time, be visible to the other bidders also. If the liquidator is of the opinion that an auction where bid amounts are not visible is likely to maximize realization from the sale of assets and it is in the best interest of the creditor, he may apply in writing to the adjudicating authority for its permission to conduct auction in such manner. You see to it how much government is trusting you, how much wide powers are given to you as far as auction is concerned. Definitely some checks and balances are there, but still it's a very, very, very wide power given to you. And that too, the biggest difference in CRP and liquidation is that in case of CRP, COC directions are binding on you. In the case of SEC, it is only advisory in nature. Multiple rounds of action, you can do it. On the close of the action, the highest bidder shall be invited to provide balance sale consideration within 15 days of the date when he is invited to provide the balance sale consideration. On payment of the full amount, the sale shall stand completed. The liquidator shall execute certificate of sale or sale deed to transfer such assets, and the assets shall be delivered to him in the manner specified in the terms of sale. Okay, lot of advocates should be there. Some sort of confusion is in the mind of VIPs that sale certificate is enough, or we should enter into sale agreement also. Difference is that in the case of sale certificate, no stamp duty is being paid. But if if buyer wants us to go for the sale agreement there, which need to be required registered, it requires 8% or maybe 6% stamp duty on it. I would like to ask my advocate friends here that is sale certificate sufficient enough exceeding the sale deed, or both should be done? What if advocate friends are there? They can quench my thirst.
Now the question,
Yeah,
sir.
Arun Kumarji, yes. Yes, we know.
No, now the question is sale certificate and deed of assignment. These two things are there in our front. In an auction process, obviously we have to issue a sale certificate.
विनोद जी, मैं अपना क्वेश्चन दोबारा रिपीट करता हूँ. I think I'm
मैं
not able to.
इसलिए I'm asking you the basic question.
Okay. No.
Basic question, which is, can I get a minute so that it will be easy?
Yes, please carry on.
In an auction process, sale certificate is to be issued. But if we issued a public announcement inviting EOI from prospective bidders for NRI asset, and that assignment is coming from NCLT, in such cases, the sale certificate required or only sale deed required? Because sale certificate, when can be issued? So after NCLT order confirmed the assignment, or in the case of assignment deed only required? That's the question, first of all, whether sale certificate or assignment deed. Or in the case of assignment, we record assignment deed as well as sale certificate. So these are the question is coming up before we discuss on the instrument to be executed.
No, विनोद जी, ये क्वेश्चन नहीं है. मेरा क्वेश्चन कुछ और है. मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि I repeat my question again, that in the case of normal sales, when we sell a particular say landed building by an auction, okay, the prospective buyer, we issue them a sale certificate. As a liquidator, I issue them a sale certificate. Number one. And my second question is, after issue of the sales certificate, if buyer wants that it should be registered also, registered deed should also, sale deed should also be entered. Is that required, or sales certificate is enough? Since I am not an advocate, I just have the opinion of my
That's why I'm telling,
Vinodji.
sir. That's why I'm telling. If this agreement is registered, then in the case of land, SRO is the registering authority. In the case of other assets, then the registering authority is someone else. Now, in the case of SRO, the sales certificate is getting registered, not any deed of agreement. It's an agreement. Correct. Agreement cannot go with the SRO. So my basic question, in the case of assignment, because assignment necessarily to be approved by NCLT. In such case, how can we issue a sales certificate?
विनोद जी, आप मेरा क्वेश्चन बिल्कुल नहीं समझे. आई थिंक लेट मी टेल यू इन हिंदी. आप मेरा क्वेश्चन
मतलब
समझे ही
हिंदी
नहीं.
में भी बात करने से भाई देखो,
अब
सिर्फ ये
दोबारा
बात है,
समझाओ. नहीं नहीं, ये
डिपेंडिंग
बात
अपॉन
नहीं
द
है.
डॉक्यूमेंट. कौन से
नो
डॉक्यूमेंट
नो,
जा रहे
मैं
हैं?
मनोज जी,
असाइनमेंट डेट की बात नहीं
आपका
कर
जो
रहा.
क्वेश्चन है, आपका जो
या
क्वेश्चन
यस
है
प्लीज.
कि
या
ये रजिस्टर करना पड़ेगा कि नहीं, तो
हाँ जी.
सेल्स सर्टिफिकेट के अलावा डीड को भी रजिस्टर करना पड़ेगा इन केस इफ इट्स अ इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी एंड स्टैम्प
Yes, yes, immovable property. Exactly, exactly. करना पड़ेगा. Okay, this is your opinion. I got the answer.
इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी के लिए रजिस्ट्रेशन करेगा तो सेल सर्टिफिकेट ही रजिस्टर होगा. दैट इज व्हाट द प्रोविजन विद SRO, नॉट डीड ऑफ एग्रीमेंट.
सर, हम डीड ऑफ एग्रीमेंट की बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं. वो मेरा जो क्वेश्चन था, अरुण जी एकदम समझ गए. मेरे कहने का मतलब ये था, आई मीन टू से इज लाइक दैट इन द केस ऑफ सेल ऑफ इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी नॉट थ्रू NRRA, in normal course, two opinions are coming out to be there. One opinion is sale certificate issue is sufficient. Another opinion is coming out to be there that along with sale certificate it should be registered, also be done there. The only difference is that if we go for the the sale, this thing there, 8% or 6% stamp duty is to be paid. And Mr. Arun, Mr. Arun is of the opinion that it should be done. Whenever I hold webinar, I try to have opinions of everybody, so that what practices we are adopting, that should be in consonance with the industry also.
See, conveyance deed need not be registered.
In some cases,
if it's a sale, Mr. Vinod, if it's a sale by a court officer, by a court sale, then suppose income tax department is auctioning or the court is auctioning, then the deed need not be registered and stamp duty need not be paid.
yes.
Okay,
But if it's an auction, say under SURFACE or by the liquidator under IBC, then it has to be registered and stamp duty has to be paid.
Okay.
Arun Kumar, you said it is.
But the liquidator is a court officer.
Yes, this is what I mean to say. Arunji, I respect your opinion, but another opinion is also quite prevalent, whereby they
Normally,
say that
normally we give only sale certificate.
yes, yes.
Only sale certificate is getting
because of
registered. Yeah, because of the court officer position, we can issue only sale certificate, and sale certificate is getting registered, not any other deed.
Yes.
Okay, but the problem predominantly when we are discussing on NRRA asset, that is not a product of an auction. It is a product and decision of the NCLT. When the decision of the NCLT against that order, do we require to issue a sale certificate? In my opinion, we cannot issue a sale certificate, because to NCLT we are filing the deed of agreement, assignment. That's what we are filing with the obligation. My lord, these are the things based on this agreement, this is being transferred. And NCLT is going to approve the deed of agreement, assignment agreement. Then how can I again issue a sale certificate? So in my opinion, only
Vinodji, we agree. We respect your opinion. Let's move forward. We actually
Sir, Murthy here, sir. Murthy here, sir. I have a small point.
Yes,
as per
please.
Section 89 of the Registration Act, we have to submit a copy of the sales certificate to the registrar for getting it entered into that passbook one, I think. So with that sales certificate, usko dena padega. Matlab we have to address one copy of the sales certificate to the registrar as per Section 89 of the Registration Act. So once
absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. That is of the immovable property.
Yes, sir. Yes.
That is of the immovable property.
So immovable, no, actually
immovable property.
No, we are talking
Movable
about immovable
property.
property only, I think. We are talking about immovable property only. Land and building is what is the example given by the...
Immovable property, you are absolutely correct, sir. It is getting registered with SRO. There is specific categorization in there. When we are court officer, we have to get registered the sale certificate. But
Sir,
in the
what
case
happened? Sir, asset classification.
non-movable
Now
assets,
we are talking in case of movable asset, but it is under scrap condition, which might not fail a significant value. What should we do?
सर उसमें जीएसटी लगेगा, उसमें रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं होगा. जो रजिस्ट्रेशन होता है वो सिर्फ इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी पे होता है.
So therefore, we have
ठीक है
to issue two separate certificates.
ठीक है साहब, जब जीएसटी का मैटर आ जाता है तो whether GST invoice itself is sufficient or agreement is also required. Okay, for the time being we can accept both is required. Correct. In such cases, whether registration is required, if registration is required, who is the authority? Sub-registrar office or some other authority?
I don't know. I think, Mr. Vinod, some confusion is being created. In fact, my simple question was that
if I created a confusion,
No. I said you did not create it, but in discussion, confusion get created. My question was that in case of immovable property, when we sell it through a sales certificate, do we go for the registration or not? Answer coming out dominantly is that we don't need to go for registration of the pay the registration amount against that particular thing there. Only thing is sales certificate maybe get noted in the book.
Sir, some authorities, sir, one small correction. Some authorities are taking stamp duty. They are not getting the registration, but they are not missing out the stamp duty revenue.
In case of sales certificate,
in which state? Sarupji, in which state?
In a few states, sir. Goa, I think they're taking stamp duty. Registration is not required. So registration is avoided. Registration is just
in Bengal also.
Yeah, Section 81 of the Registration Act is also registration is getting avoided.
Sir, I have this in a pending question. Sir,
yes, sir.
Now, so if I am selling in auction two sets of properties, one is movable and one is immovable. Immovable, we know that sales certificate is required. But in case of movable property under scrap condition, so do I have to, as a liquidator, issue two separate sales certificates if it is a going concern sale?
Only invoice, GST invoice.
Yes, only invoice. Vinodji very correctly said only invoice, nothing more than that.
But sir, if that sale is happening on future contingency of payment, then the problem when the GST invoice is issued, because occurrence of taxation is happening when these four questions are coming up. I just tell you, my purpose of joining this seminar is to get answer to the problem which we are facing. That is why I coming in between. When actually, we concluded that, for immovable property, yes, we can conclude with the GST invoice. But at the same time, if the consideration and happenings are on a contingent basis.
Sir, immovable property is not GST invoice, sir. It's movable property, it is GST invoice.
Movable property. Sorry.
There is no invoice. Yes.
Yeah, for movable property, we can conclude with the GST invoice. First, fine. But when that is to be issued, if the happenings are going to happen in a contingent period, for which there is an agreement also required.
Sir, in normal
all things are going to happen in a future period.
There is no contingency. In normal sale, it is
there. Sir, I tell you,
after getting the full consideration, you are using.
No, let me listen my problem. I am having a section 66 application which is pending with NCT. Now I am categorizing it as an NRRA assets. Buyer is ready with me. I also prepared the draft agreement. Fine. Now it is going to execute. Okay, now I have a deed of assignment agreement with me. Because that asset is NRRA consisting of 66. It's happening on a future period. And there is a price arrived at. That price will be given in a future period. When recovery is happening, that will be shared. In such cases, when should I issue the invoice, GST invoice? Right now? Because consideration is not happening. That event is not materialized. That's what my problems are.
Vinod ji,
Your
in
assigned
that
value
case,
should be considered, sir.
definitely
Your
when the
assigned value
consideration
should be
will come
considered.
out to be, sir, Murthy ji, ek second. When the consideration will come to you, only at that time you will raise the invoice.
Yes.
At
So it
present,
is on
you
a
will
future
not
event.
raise the invoice. When the
It is on a
consideration will
future
come to
event.
you,
Yes, sir.
exactly,
Yes, sir.
exactly. Say after 3 years, if the
I
money
tell you
comes
now
out to be
I tell you the practical problem. That may happen after some times. Still 66 petition with NCLT. After I made this assignment, the order will come after 3-4 months. Then only the assignee can initiate recovery. And that recovery happen even after dissolution. So in such cases, as a liquidator, I have no obligation of GST, but I can include the obligation of GST in the assignment agreement. That it will be shared, it will be the obligation of the assigner and assignee. That point, not assigner and assignee, the stakeholders and the assignee. Is it correct way of doing it?
absolutely correct way. This is the way we are doing it.
That's what I just want to get clarified.
We are doing it like that only. And why,
Thank you.
I don't know how much money you be getting, but generally liquidator is being paid for rendering this service 5% or 10% of the consideration amount. You are being paid only for complying all these laws. नहीं, दूर की बात नहीं है सर. हम लोगों को यानी कि आपको नहीं, हम लोगों को उसी करके पे किया जा रहा है ताकि हम इस तरह की लॉ की कंप्लायंस करें.
बैंक वाला कंट्रीब्यूशन ही देना नहीं चाहता है तो ये दूर की बात.
नहीं सर, जब उसको पैसे मिलेगा फिर तो दे देगा ना. नहीं वो तो सर उसको जब पैसा मिलेगा फिर तो दे देगा ना.
सिचुएशन कभी आते हैं जैसे भी निपट के बाहर आके भागो असाइनमेंट से.
यस देखो, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कॉल लेना पड़ता है. विनोद जी बिल्कुल इज टॉकिंग एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट दैट एज एन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ऑफिसर समटाइम्स वी हैव टू टेक दिस कॉल देयर, बट नाउ फंडामेंटली आई समराइज द होल थिंग. In case of movable property, sales certificate is sufficient. At the both, that sales certificate need to be looked into books of account. Book whatever at the registered offices there that need to be noted there. In case of movable property, we need to charge GST against that, but based on the invoice. But invoice will be raised when consideration is received. Either we receive it in advance or at the later stage. At that time, it will be there, and it will be the duty of the liquidator or the person who be acting as a buffer between a signee and a signer that all these formalities are completed. Let's move forward.
Manoj,
yes, sir. Yes, please.
At this point of time, okay. Now, assignment I made for say 10 crore rupees, okay, assets, but actual payable to the secured creditor and the other creditor say 5 crore. Luckily, this guy collected 7.5 crores. It is a section 66 case. Whether 2.5 is to be deposited back to the IBBI account or he can take it.
It will be given to the SEC only.
Not back to the undistributed account.
No. You enter into sign by deed whereby
again. Yes, sir. Again, the liability of the creditors is only 5 crores, right? Asset value 10 crore. The guy assignee recovered 7.5. So the SEC member cannot enrich more than what they are entitled.
सर सेक्शन 53 का प्रोविजन करिए ना, शेयर होल्डर्स को पैसे देने के लिए बैलेंस
तो फिर 2.5 तो आ जाएगा भैया डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड.
शेयर होल्डर्स को दे दीजिए ना. अगर आपके पास इतना अच्छा केस है
शेयर होल्डर को मैं से कैसे दे दूंगा जब उन्होंने एप्लीकेशन मेरे पास नहीं लिखा.
सर वो देखिए, yes, in that case अगर शेयर होल्डर्स ने you are not able to identify the shareholders, then you have to give amount to the IBBI and later on they can recover that amount from the IBBI.
Now this assignment deed should include this covenant or not.
Sir, ये तो आप Mr. Vinod, definitely if you are feeling such situation that whereby you're so lucky that whereby you are expecting to give recovery of 100% to the HCC, which is a very rare commodity, and you feel that you be able to I do this thing, I come across this thing in the case of voluntary liquidation, but never in the case of normal liquidation, whereby I've been able to have such a good recovery that I've been able to, give it to my shareholders. Definitely. But remember that against that, you are supposed to deduct TDS now. For that payment against shareholders, if you able to identify to them, you
Right,
need to
sir.
deduct TDS against them. Put
Shareholders,
that also in your class.
fantastic. Shareholders is not filed any claim with me.
Sir, this is
I
then
don't know the
IBBI.
shareholders.
Sir,
I don't know the
IBBI,
shareholders.
IBBI.
So I have to deposit back to IBBI
Yes.
non-distributed account.
Yeah,
But
relevant regulation is very much
then
there.
then then the problem, sir, when this recovery happen, I may not be in the picture. Correct. I will
You are
dissolve
in
the
the
company.
picture.
Right.
You are absolutely in the
So
picture. No, don't say like that. You're not in the picture. When this recovery will be coming out to be there, it has to be, as a liquidator or maybe any other person taking a responsibility of Section 53 and doing all this thing there. The person who's in the picture, who's being paid 5 or 10% or 1%
so
commission,
you
he
mean to
has to look into
say
all this thing.
you mean to say that the deed of assignment is a three-party agreement, SEC, liquidator, and
Yes,
the
yes, yes,
assignee?
yes. Yes. The format which I've given to you is a
Thank
tri-party
you.
agreement.
Thank you.
Without that,
You are not
assignment can
shared
never
so far.
happen. Oh,
You are
I've not
not
shared.
shared so far
I
because
do one thing. Let's
yeah.
take a break of 4 5 minutes because by that time
Yeah.
I'll be able to change my name also. Uh, okay, it
Your
has
name
already
is already
changed.
changed.
I don't know how it
Already.
changed. This technology is something very good.
Our
Many a
team
times
is
they are.
waiting.
No,
IPA is
no,
sitting there. They are saying.
it can't happen from their side. It need to happen from my side. Let's take a break of 4 5 minutes, and after that we
Great,
come
sir.
back again. Yeah. ठीक है जी. अभी क्या हुआ है? अरे 4:25 हुआ है ना, तो 4:30 पे हम लोग again we come back, and in between that 5 minutes I share my all papers on the chat box.
Thank you.
IPA, I've been not allowed to share my files in the chat box. Please allow me to share my files so that I can share it, with everybody. I'm not being allowed to share my files because of some restrictions put there. Administrator, please look into this aspect. I welcome everybody again now because now let me move little bit fast now because काफी सारी slides अभी रहती हैं तो we shall move little bit fast but interactive session is always good.
We will keep you engaged, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Sir, that is the I love to be get a guest because इससे मेरे को ये लगता है कि I've been educated by you.
Yes, sir.
I'm learning a lot from you because people in this platform are coming from all over India and definitely they have their own experiences and we are all equal. You know, it's not that I am sitting in front of you, I know law better. Only thing is that we learn from our experience, nothing more than that. एज फार एज लॉ इज कंसर्न वो तो आप कभी भी आप क्या कहते हैं पढ़ के बुक पढ़ के 4 सेक्शन है उसको पढ़ के कर लोगे द पर्पस ऑफ दिस वेबिनार इज ओनली दैट वी शुड बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट वी प्रैक्टिकली फेसिंग द डिफिकल्टीज for which very enthusiastically Mr. Vinod is participating and that's the spirit of any webinar. Okay, we have moved it there. We have concluded realization strategies. No. Okay. Yeah, that is there.
So you are not able to share this PPT, no, sir? I think.
Sir, हाँ वो एक मिनट एक मिनट let me I've just requested ये organizer जी I'm not able to attach my file in the PPT. ये चैट बॉक्स के अंदर मैं जैसे ही फाइल अटैच करने की कोशिश करता हूँ आई एम नॉट ग्रांटेड द परमिशन टू अटैच इज देयर. Hello, anybody from the organizer IPA Institute?
Mr. Bharadwaj should be there.
Mr. Bharadwaj, whenever I try to attach the file, I'm not being allowed. Oh, no, now I'm being allowed. No, not allowed, sorry. Well, it coming out to be there. Whenever I try to attach it there, I'm not being allowed. You do one thing.
The co-host, sir. You should be the co-host. You should be the co-host.
Yeah, I should. When I've been allowed to share the screen and all this thing there, so I might have been the co-host, but some restrictions might sometimes are there. Mr. Bharadwaj, are you able to listen to me? Okay? Alternatively, you do one thing. My phone number is appearing on the screen. You note it down. Give me the message. I shall send you by on WhatsApp group there. You noted down my telephone number. That is, aside of the screen. If Mr. Bharadwaj allows me to share this thing, allow me sharing of files.
IP will share to everybody, sir.
Hanji?
You may share it to the IP will share to everybody.
No, with IP, I shall share only my PPT. I won't share my these things there. People like you who are spending money and joining me in the meeting, they should have some special privilege rather than, they should be given some VIP treatment also. You can note down my telephone number. Give me a WhatsApp message. I shall definitely share it with the persons, all those persons whosoever request me for that. Maybe by tomorrow my office will do it, but definitely it will be shared. Simply, give me a WhatsApp call there. And importantly, if IP allowed me to share my files, I shall definitely share it there. Bharadwaj ji, आप जैसे ही मेरे को allow कर दोगे, let me know also. चलिए सर, let's move forward. अभी 2-4 मिनट और हमारे निकल गए इन्हीं बातों को करते करते. We are talking about the realization strategies.
You are in IP sanctuary group में है ना sir?
हाँ जी. I'm in lot of.
I'm also in the group.
Okay. But you asked me this thing, at personal level only. I won't share my these.
Your number is there. Your mobile number is there.
You can WhatsApp me there, and from there you can ask me. Actually, basically, I'm running an iPass session. Just to keep running that session, I'm in around 30-35 groups, out of which 25 I'm the admin, just added by the others. Okay, let's move there. On sale of an asset, liquidator shall prepare an asset sale report under Regulation 36 in respect of the said asset to be enclosed with a precursor code containing these things. Many a times we do forget to and put our the sale report. That is why I have chosen and put it there. तो ये इसके अंदर रूटीन चीजें हैं आप ये A to G points need to be recovered as per regulation so and so, but make it a part of your progress report. Definitely. Initially, I also forgot. From the then onwards, I realized that whenever I be talking about NRRA, I should share it there. Okay. The regulator may extend the payment period of balance sale consideration beyond 90 days after consultation with the SEC, but charge interest at the rate of 12%. Meaning thereby that if because of any reason buyer is not able to pay you the money and you can extend it there. Earlier it was not allowed. Earlier it was, the IBBI has issued a particular circular on this regard. Based on that, you can, but give the extension with the SEC permission and charge interest there. Latest changes, hardly 3-4 days has come out to be there for liquidator. We all must be aware that sale must not be through EBK portal only. I have given you the software of EBK portal. I've given you the soft address of my EBK portal and you're aware of it. So इसमें आप please carry on. You put it there. And coming out to be there. Just wait. Yeah, that is there. It was there. Because I have around 80 slides. Hardly I've been able to cover 36 slides. Let me move a little bit quickly now. This is the portal. It has been made mandatory hardly last week by an IBBI circular just to maintain the transparency in auction. So please, use this portal. In brief, as far as our existing liquidation assignments are concerned, we need to, what we technically call as asset memorandum. Well, in asset memorandum, what details are there? We need to put it in this particular platform and go on updating time wise. It is not only for NRRA but for other assets also. At least my office is a lazy; they have not done it. But I just give you a reminder. Please do it. Now let me see challenges faced during liquidation regarding claims and interest. We people are at a dalmia whether to accept a belated claim or not, whether to give an interest against that or not. What jurisprudence and relevant law is there? Let me share it with you. Section so and so regulation deals with so and so. Section 38 says liquidator shall collect the claim within a period of 30 days. But many a times claims are received late and liquidator asks the claimant to get an order from NCLT or for his acceptance of claim. Let's understand jurisprudence on this respect. Condonation, whether that particular delayed claim should be condoned or not. We need to understand what existing jurisprudence is there that can act as a guiding factor for us. And I have, noted down around 20-25 cases for you. And what I have written there as point number 8, this is the case reference. I have extracted all these points from the case reference, for which I made a separate slide for that. 8 number mean a case number 8. What jurisprudence has been there? NCLT Bangalore branch similarly and in a routine manner condoned the delay of 1191 days. What were those facts? Go through that case. Similarly, NCLT Mumbai bench also condoned the delay of 51 days in submission of claims by the Department of Sale Tax and the liquidator, finding the personal medical difficulty of an officer to be sufficient cause for the said condonation. However, the bench also observed that the liquidation process was still underway and the condonation for delay in filing a statutory claim would be in the interest of justice. In the same way, the reason of not being aware of the commencement of the insolvency of corporate debtor was found to be sufficient ground for condoning the delay of observing that no prejudice would be caused as the liquidation process was not yet concluded. This is my case reference number 10. Of course, the difficulties, obstructions caused by the pandemic has been held to be a sufficient ground, while it has been held that the court does not abridge the rights of creditors till distribution of assets is completed under liquidation process. Now let me come with a non-condonation. Under what circumstances this delay has not been condoned? In the same breath, NCLT and NCLT have held in contrast dealing strictly with late claims. One such instance is that of NCLT Chennai bench, whereas it refused to condone the delay of 416 days in filing of the claim by rejecting the grounds of not being aware of the commencement of the insolvency of the corporate debtor and administrative difficulty. This is case number 12. A similar decision was rendered by the NCLT New Delhi bench, wherein the bench refused to condone the delay of 1327 days in filing the claim by the creditor, though in the context of corporate insolvency process, it is related to CIP. In other instances where one of the creditors, being the husband of suspended debtor of the corporate debtor, filed an appeal under Section 42 of the Code on the ground of unawareness of the liquidation process, the NCLT New Delhi bench refused to see to the claimant's prayer of condonation of the delay in submitting the claim. The NCLT has also delivered a few decisions refusing to condone belated claims in consonance with the scope and the objective of the court, being timely resolution of insolvencies. Case number 15. In this regard, it is pertinent to refer to the decision of the NCLT Delhi holding that it is an axiomatic principle in law that the tribunal is required to consider the sufficiency of cause, whether the cause ascribed is reasonable looking to all the facts of the matter. However, the aspect of an existence of sufficient cause is to be determined based on the facts and circumstances hovering around a particular case. Indeed, there ought to be an inaction or want of bona fide or negligence or no negligence attributed to the litigant party as the case may be. Honorable Supreme Court, in this case, in the context of condonation of delay, the Honorable Supreme Court has held that any delay caused due to negligence or lack of vigilance on the part of the party does not and should not qualify for to be sufficient cause, and the concerned party must be able to provide cogent reasons for delay in caused to it. Case number 17. NCLT has similarly held that a tribunal or a court of law ought to be very reluctant to excuse the delay or to lend a helping hand to a litigant who is guilty of inaction, bad faith, laches, or negligence. Moreover, speed is the sense of the court, and the time wasted can't be revested or regained. The process of liquidation is time bound and time bound. That can't be recircuit. An analogy in this aspect can be certainly be drawn from the state. I think, when my PPT will be shared, you can go through all these cases whereby in some time it has been allowed and some time it has not been allowed. Let me move a little bit quickly with this in there instead of reading all this for you. Now, let's see what particular difficulties we face. There are various practical difficulties that we have to be borne by liquidator and the stakeholder, which have the potential of delaying the entire liquidation process if such arguments of acceptance of delayed claims is accepted. First and foremost, the entire process of claim verification and preparation of the list of stakeholders is required to be undertaken by the liquidator within the strict timelines prescribed in the code and the liquidation regulation. But the delayed claims, when condoned by the tribunal, obligates the liquidator to revise, modify the list of stakeholders such much beyond the stipulated timelines, even if liquidation process may have reached to the faggot. Not only does it bring in uncertainty in the quantum and treatment of debt out by the debtors, especially when the creditor also seeks reclassification, but also leads to further burdening the liquidator with procedural formalities and filing of mandated reports, intimations, application with the NCLT and IBBI. Obviously, the cost of liquidation estate in defending such liquidation can't be disregarded. Okay, these are the cases. If you want to read it in deep, under what circumstances claim has condonation has been allowed or not allowed. I have prepared 2 slides for that. Please, look into deep all these cases just to understand this particular law in a better way. I've clubbed all the cases therein for your reference. Okay, no. Ultimately, as adjudicating authority, what conclusion we should go for it? Because you look into it, we are the court officers, and many a times we have to adjudicate a lot of things and take call as per our experience and the law of the land. What, in my opinion, suggestion is, it's again a pervasive suggestion, but final call has to be taken by you based on all these laws and this thing there. This is. So it's axiomatic that the NCLT or NCLT have been taking contrasting views and have adopted varied approach to the issue of condonation of delay in filing of late claims by the creditors during the liquidation process. This no doubt keeps in ambiguity in the liquidation process and leads to the unnecessary litigation and delays. Having said so, the rationale of condoning the delay and submission of claims on the ground that the liquidation process has not concluded and distribution of assets is pending appears to have some force. This is so, for it draws the tribunal to submit to the argument of no prejudice would be cost to the stakeholders or the liquidation process, it have to be condoned, containedly condoned. Nowadays, now I've seen the latest practices there that in case of registration plan, if payment to let's say in case of home buyers, payment to the demand from the home buyers is of the say of 50 crore rupees, always a provision is made of payment to them of 52 crore rupees, so that if any contingent claim come out to be later on, then it can be accommodated there, and if by chance that does not come out to be there, then that particular 2 crore rupees extra provision made therein is being distributed as per what mechanism under section 53. Nowadays, the action plan may present for such expected claims in CRP. That's a good practice. In fact, that has been guided by one of my cases by the principal bench only. After that, we always, whenever this action plan is being modified, we tell them to incorporate it as per the circumstances of the case. Anybody would like to add anything on it, or I move forward, please? Challenges faced during the liquidation with reference to claim. Interest portion, I'm coming out to be again. Agar kisi ka, to what I said, has any further opinion, please come forward and share it with all of us. Okay, I move forward. Interest on claim. Interest on claim, whether interest on claim should be paid or not, what jurisprudence on it is there, let me share it with you. Definitely, there's no second opinion that it has to be calculated only up to the liquidation commencement date. It can never go beyond that. But no interest on interest can be claimed even if claimed by creditors. It should be declined by liquidator. In this case, it has been held. Nowadays, things are coming out to be very hectic. At least I face this situation that interest awarded by the MSME Council. IBC proceedings are not recovery proceedings. Are honorable NCLT has ignored interest awarded by MSME Council in many cases like so and so, so and so, so and so. Determination of disputed claims and partial settlement lies with NCLT when further examination of evidence is required. It had just happened. आज यानी कि 15 तारीख को हुआ है, तो आज hardly 2 days ago एक NCLT की judgment आई है. Before that, law was that NCLT always say that in case of any commercial dispute, you go to the commercial court and let them decide what quantum of claim is there, or you go to the arbitration clause as per your agreement. But now NCLT has said facts can be different for your case. In this particular case, that NCLT should adjudicate the claim amount also in case of dispute. Okay, now let's move to my second topic, monetization of NRRA. already spoken 37A. It's simply this is the way this should be the practice to monetize our NRRA. Okay, practically what I feel is that at the time of valuations, is that is our basic price. We should take utmost care of valuation of expected NRRA. But that is again very subjective because value can be of four types: book value, value as per valuation report, assignment value, stamp duty value in case of immovable property. This I have already spoken earlier. 29A eligibility criteria is must to be looked into for a assignee. This I've already spoken, 38. Okay. Okay, now we are talked at length 37A and 38. Anybody would like to add to it with their experience, or we move forward to another aspect? These are the marketplace, as far as buyers are concerned, for which I shall, I thought of giving you the list also, but by chance one slide is also there. They are the actual player who are buying NRRA assets in India at present. I would request that if, technically it is permitted in the chat box, others can also share their list because that can benefit to everybody, even the buyer also, because they will get good market, and we as an insolvency professional also get some details there. Treatment. My eighth point is how to treat NRI during liquidation. This is absolutely a practical aspect, and again, depending upon the experience of everybody, it's basically selling NRI is a big headache, especially for small and medium-sized companies. Try to auction based on their valuation. Regulation 37A, two types of assignments, which you have already talked. The absolute assignment, the option of absolute assignment was provided to ascertain that the assignment of NRRA will be absolute and assignee will have rights over the assets and any action related thereto. The assignment would also include the transfer of all the legal rights, remedies, and power to bring the action to an end, such a settlement without the interference of the assigned liquidator. NRRA, it is not popular, but nowadays, the public sector banks are assigning their loans to many ERCs. It's only for understanding purpose. It has nothing to do with the NRRA. The assignment with the recomposed facility, it is very popular. This option allows the liquidator to sign the asset with an initial price. Any subsequent net recovery means the value realized less cost incurred by the recovery process of the value over and above the initial price would be shared between the assignee and the signer as per terms of the assignment. Okay. The Section 9, Regulation 38, I've never been able to sell in that way. Other innovative approach. This is the international practices. Let's see if we can start in India also. Asset securitization. ERC sale and issue of tradable securities like the tail loan sale, which I've already spoken to you earlier. Joint ventures or partnership. So, there are some specialized firms, being industry expert, their collaboration with other entities can help unlock the value of NRAs through shared expertise or sources. This is, these are the accepted and well settled international practices. These need to be developed in our country for value maximization through NRRA sale. I have noted down some of the best practices worldwide. किस country के अंदर क्या क्या होता है, that I'm sharing with you. But already 50, it's my reach my 58 slides. So time is again very short. I'm passing through very quickly. It was only for the sake of making you to understand what international practice is there. When my slides will come over to you, you can have a look on it, because we are reaching very close to 5 our closing time. UK, Singapore, these are the very developed countries where what is happening. I'm just, hardly 7 to 8 minutes are left to. This is a very good write-up. It will definitely enhance your knowledge that how international practices are there. Based on these international practices, today or tomorrow, these will definitely be adopted in our country also. But only thing is, somebody has to take the lead. Maybe me or you has to take the lead. I just shared it to you with, the one example, just Singapore came out to be there. I've been hardly appointed by Bengaluru bench last week only for a PG to CD case. But when I delved deep into it, I found that that PG is staying at Singapore. In fact, in all application, everything, written address is there. Now, I studied a lot whether I should issue a public notice at Singapore or not, as per, as per the relevant regulation laws and practices. Earlier, I issued the conclusion, since jurisdiction lies in India of IBC only, I can't do it. I asked IBBI, they all also have the same opinion. But later on, with more knocking at Singapore courts and Singapore connections abroad, I came to a conclusion that it should be done, because it is for the benefit of the Singapore residents there, so that they can also file claim against me of due amount there. Now, only time will tell how I be able to handle assets owned by him in the Singapore. But then definitely, that will give me at least a very good experience as far as international assignment on PG to CD is concerned, when personal content or data is Singapore based. These are the, if you get some, good assignment, these are the buyers, internationally reputed NRRA buyers. I prepared, my office did a lot of hard work to, extract this list from internet, who are the reputed NRRA buyers internationally. They are not working in India, but at present they are not working in India, but they will always look after, any IPE or Indian professional through whom they can get connected and go for buying in India also. I just give you an example of FDIs. FDIs is making maximum investment in our Indian stock market. Similarly, if these internationally reputed NRA are being approached, or they be asked, motivated, they may come forward for as a buyer also. Maybe anyone else lucky enough be able to get act as a representative of any of these buyers. Omani Bridgeway, this is a very big, NRA buyer. He has a presence in almost all the developed countries, but no presence in India. Let someone of us take an initiative and try to engage him in for India also. I've given his, this thing there, soft link also. Maybe, or, you can knock in there in. Soteria is also a very big investor who deals in NRA sort of things there. Demnior, this is also a very big global firm specializing in litigation finance, arbitration funding, and all this thing there. Look into their cases. Belgium, Netherlands, United Kingdom, France, Germany, Spain. They have their representation in India also. Okay. Now let me. I've been asked to look into last point, case laws related to NRRA. The case, allowed assigner to substitute his name in the avoidance application. Okay, what happened that assignment D is not entered between A and B. B later on wants C should be named there. In this particular, C was allowed to be there. Ritu Tandon versus so-and-so. In this case, NCLT New Delhi second did not allow a signer so-and-so to substitute his name in the orders application filed by the liquidator, meaning thereby, learning from these two cases is that कहते हैं साहब के मूड का कुछ नहीं पता. We don't know how the NCLT will take a call for that. While preparing assignment date, you should prepare it with lot of diligence. Same in this case, the NCLT Mumbai allowed the name to be substituted. In this case, the TDP Copper NCLT New Delhi did not allow a signer to substitute his name in the warrants application filed by the liquidator based on pre-positive interpretation of the regulation 37E, which says the purpose of assignment of NRRA to third parties in terms of prisoner of so-and-so is only to expedite the liquidation process and ensure the disposal of the assets. Rainbow Digital so-and-so. In this case, NRRA approached Delhi High Court for inclusion of his name as petitioner under Article 226. When NCLT rejected, then he went to the, maybe parallelly he went to the Delhi High Court. Delhi High Court dismissed his petition, noting the matter is pending before NCLT for adjudication. The brief facts of the case are that CD sold and sent through post certain articles on cash on delivery basis. Against some sales, received cash of rupees 57.80 lakhs, and some of the articles were never delivered or returned. Consequently, earlier as IRP also wrote to the Department of so-and-so. Subsequently, liquidator sold them as NRRA. So in this case, when he sold them as an NRRA, but assignee want to add someone else's name, this Delhi High Court did not allow. Okay, now let's lead to the conclusion and challenges faced in NRRA. Undoubtedly, NRRA are the black sheep of the liquidators that can make it difficult to achieve the task of completing the liquidation process in stipulated time and spoil the pool of assets. It is prudent to give these black sheep to someone who has the resources to pull out the wool from them. In other jurisdictions, the right to transfer cause of action is covered under the definition, which includes actionable claim. The introduction of NRRs had widened the scope of the cause of action that can be transferred, as it includes the transfer of contingent and disputed properties. Currently, what challenges do we face? Challenges we face is that currently there is hardly any market for sale purchase of actionable claims, contingent or disputed assets, and asset underlying proceedings of so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. In case of disputed claim, the parties will have counterclaims, and assignment of obligation without permission of other party will remain a challenge, and it can be, challenge in the court of law also. That how you have assigned the this particular debt to third party when some inherent dispute is there. Okay, in our IPA, we are taking regular sessions there. Last session हमने अभी दिया था इसके ऊपर discussion paper of real estate. There you can find all related videos or related videos related to the IBC apps. We already covered latest topic. Nothing more than that. Whenever any notification comes out to be there, whenever any discussion paper comes out to be there. For example, this Baiju's judgment was very critical. We discussed that in our there, which is available in YouTube channel. In all these discussions, mainly we have speakers with us. Along with, we always prefer to have NCLT honorable judge with also, so that their perspective is also looked into. So if you face any difficulty, then you can look into this YouTube channel. This is my legal disclaimer. While any effort is made to avoid any mistake or omission, this document includes case summary, brief about the decision, additional information, head note, so and so, so and so. a condition of understanding that the publisher would not be liable in any manner by reason of any mistake or omission or any action taken or omitted to be taken or advice rendered or accepted on the basis of this document. This authenticity of this text must be verified from the original sources. This is my telephone number. If I shall try again if I be able to annex it there in the chat box well enough. Otherwise, that is there. Good. Okay. Now, a discussion paper on issues related to real estate has come out to be there. 7 issues raised for comments therein. We people should, give reply to the discussion paper on these 7 issues. Last date for submission is there, 27th November 2024. We don't have a time, or if anybody wants, he can, talk on it. With this note, we end our discussion, although we were having question answers a lot in between, but still if some questions are there, you yeah, please ask us. We, not only me, but other participants like Mr. Vinod was quite prolific in his replies and guiding everybody there. Mr. Manoj was also there, and we can jointly answer all the questions. Objective is so that we can learn practical things while talking to each other in this webinar. Otherwise, as far as law is concerned, we all know the law. Nothing important is there. Yes, please carry on. Come forward. In the meantime, I try for chat box also. If I can be allowed to, I just share it for everybody. No, sir, allow nahi kar rahe. Anybody from the IPA, from administrator side?
Anyway,
Anybody from the IPA?
WhatsApp.
Yeah, anybody from the IPA, so that there's a great demand of these formats. I should be able to put it in the chat box.
So Pranav is there from the IPA.
प्रणव जी, आप सुन पा रहे हैं? प्रणव
जी सर।
सर देखो, मेरे को अलाउ कर दो वो चैट बॉक्स में अपनी फाइल शेयर करने के लिए, अगर पॉसिबल है टेक्निकली तो।
सर आप मेरे को भेज दीजिएगा, मेरे पास सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स का डेटा है, मैं मधुसूदन सर का डेटा भी भेजूंगा, आपका भी भेजूंगा।
चलिए, लेट मी लुक इनटू इट। तो चलिए, या ओके, फेयर इनफ। आगे से ना कोशिश करना ये इस तरह का चैट बॉक्स के अंदर हमारे को अलाउ कर देना, सो दैट वन यानी कि एकदम इंफॉर्मेशन सबको मिल जाए। Brinda ji has raised his hand. Brinda ji, what do you want to ask? Please carry on. Please ask. Okay, no, something else was there. I thought you want to ask something. Yeah. Any question or any guidance to anybody there for practical aspect of handling all this thing there?
Manoj, I noted your number. Okay, definitely I will
Sir,
communicate with you for
yeah,
the clarification.
thanks for that. When you will communicate to me, I shall also come across your number.
Anyway, good efforts to clarify the things, but we are little different angle, so that's why all the questions and the debates come up. Good that yes, perfect, and going forward, many things will come up. So we will have to find out solutions for that. Good efforts from your side, sir. Thank you.
थैंक यू विनोद जी, थैंक्स अ लॉट। आपको फिर भी कभी भी या किसी भी पार्टिसिपेंट्स को, इफ यू फेस एनी प्रॉब्लम, यू कैन कॉल मी अप। we be a little bit experienced, so whatever through that experience we know about the jurisprudence or maybe the law about that, we shall definitely share it with you, so that whatever assignments we get, we should create a reputation as an IP, as an IP community. Let's raise our status in the eyes of the government, because now I do understand a lot of assignments are not coming out to be there. For that, a lot of disciplinary cases are also coming out to be against us, which really demotivate us to continue this profession. But if we go with the statistical data also, the reason for that is mainly that in the case of public sector banks, they have exhausted their all recovery cases, and now they say when new cases will come out, you be there, only then we shall share it with you. Number two reason is that they don't have, much satisfactory recovery from the IBC. They are now again reverting back to surface angle more. Many more such reasons are there, but we as an insolvency professional need to uplift this profession because we are the one of the four pillar of this profession. With this note, thank you very much. Thank you, Manoj ji.
Yeah,
Thank you, Manoj ji.
Continuation to your conclusion notes.
Yes,
Last week there was
please.
a physical meeting of IBBI in Coimbatore. I was also went there when they were promoting on the IP's new examination process and all those things. We have come with a question. They highlighted two things. One is empanelling more IPs, and also they wanted to do something in MSME. Now the question come up when you are talking about MSME. See, the capacity of the MSME to supply to a corporate more than 1 crore is very limited. Correct. So, if maximum they may be supplying 50 lakhs odd or something like that. And because of the ceiling, they are not able to file IBC cases. Therefore, in the case of MSME, the upper ceiling of 1 crore is to be limited to 50 lakhs. This was discussed. Also, for PPIRP, there is a big shortage of provisions. When they are submitting a resolution plan to bank, see, there is no condition that bank should come back within specified time. It will be hang up on there. There also provisions are required so that when person is submitted a plan, it should revert within a specified time so that he can approach NCLT for furtherance. So these things are come up since there are no much cases is coming up. Banks are not happy with IBC and they are moving to openly telling, sir, they are moving with the DRT. Correct. So wherever the worst case is coming up, it is coming up because of Section 9. Some residual factor happening to the bank, then only they are coming up with that. Nowadays, NCLTs are filled with 94 and 95. Correct. So all these things are in front of us. So altogether, these things are to be taken before the authorities from different forum, from the different angle. And this upper ceiling of 1 crore, especially to be reduced to 50 lakhs for taking interest of MSME and looking into the large economic contributor. That is to be taken care by the government. So we have to altogether put this matter wherever we feel fit and proper when we are meeting the officials. So we have to push it so that there is possibility of getting more cases coming into the NCLT. Though NCLT is running short of time to decide the cases, but still cases should flow. Thank you, sir.
Vinodji, extending your talk, first of all, PPIRP, which is specifically applicable for the MSME sector, the limit of 10 lakh rupees is, I think, reasonable. As far as Section 7(9), it is there, but if they start giving exemption in Section 7(9) for MSME of rupees 50 lakh or something like that will be there, that will again be a welcome step. But under PPIRP, 10 lakh rupees is limit there. By chance, I was the first. Yeah, by chance. Yeah.
PPIRP, the biggest defect when they are given a resolution plan to the bank, there is no binding effect on the bank that they have to come back within specified days, either reject or to accept it. So they are keeping all these paper within the price.
Yeah, we hardly 3-4 months ago, we were having an international event of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Resolve 2024 in Delhi. I was one of the speaker there, and I was asked the same question what you are asking me there. PPIRP need to be, refurbished. It need a lot of improvements there. Checks and balances, which we call in every affair. A lot of checks are there, which are unnecessarily, especially it's like a hanging sword on debtor. When you are giving it's a debtor-rented PPRP option, then why with so many things that the creditor can anytime decide and go to there, which is virtually pulling this PPRP section there. As far as limit of 1 crore is concerned under section 4, which was increased during pandemic in trying from 1 lakh to 1 crore rupees. I'm in constant touch with a lot of big people in MCA or IBBI. Whenever any such major step is being taken, it is always debated. Should we go for it or not? Should we go for it or not? Definitely at that time,
the challenge, they are not able to
the talk was
convince.
there. Yeah, the talk was there. It should be increased to 10 lakh rupees or at the most 20 lakh rupees. But our
That's
finance
the
minister,
challenge.
all of a sudden increased it to 1 crore rupees. What was the reason for that? I'm aware of that particular reason also. I can't share it in this platform, but that was, that virtually killed Section 9. Another killing of Section 9 will be coming out to be there if mediation is made at present is voluntarily. If it is made compulsorily for all Section 9 application, then again, inflow of Section 9 application will reduce drastically. Yes, Vinodji, please carry on.
Yeah, fine, perfect. We all knows all these matter. Therefore, we have to take cognitive action or a discussion plan and taking this matter to the IBBI. See, most of the IPs are afraid about IBBI. In fact, it's not like that. When we really interact with them with a valid point, they always appreciate and they take it too.
Yes,
They are also
agree.
they are ready for
Absolutely
taking
agree.
friendly discussion, but our total IPs are afraid. They are afraid just like reading the provision of the penalty, right? So we have to open up our mouth and we have to come unitedly with all difficulties and barriers what we are facing in the IP
Okay,
business.
Vinodji, for that we have created an association IPA. Do join us. We shall love
Sir,
to
you
have
may
your
be aware
contribution
about
there.
that AAP. You may be aware about AAP.
Sorry,
I am the
Vinod sir and Manoj sir. This
Yes,
is
please,
going a little
Yeah,
off the topic.
Yeah, it's a closed down now, please.
You
Close down.
may continue individually. You have your contact numbers, email IDs. For
Yeah.
benefit of all, let's conclude this here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
But this is
I
not
was
the right
of the same
forum
opinion.
for what we are discussing actually.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Pranav.
Thank you, Manoj sir, on behalf of IP, ICM and all the participants. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.